I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my god.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayCara.com. At ShopPayCara.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopPayCara.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.
cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go, come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico, it's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
start number 2 gets win number 1 in OKN Stars.
On track or off, Brandon Jarscak Racing delivers elite performance. Led by 4-time Pro National Champion Brandon Jarscak, our team masters driver coaching, data-driven analysis, and mechanical precision at every national event. Contact us today at BrandonJarscakRacing.com.
So in motorsport, every detail matters, but we need to try to avoid using expensive and fragile sensors. So I'm gonna show you how we do it. So this is a comparison between the sensor, pink curve, and the accelerometer in blue. So we can read how hard the driver is applying the brake and how easy he's modulating his release in order to understand how the driver's braking. The sensor costs hundreds of dollars and the accelerometer is already in your dash, so you don't need to buy anything.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now and join the online course today.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney. Turney in the dirt.
2026 Cup Kart South Series, February 20th through 22nd at Finish Line Karting. March 20th through 22nd at Daytona International Speedway. April 24th through 26th at Music City Karting. And May 29th through 31st at Bushnell Motorsports Park.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR, with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make weight. Okay, you're good.
I'm sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle.
How the f did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
Hey guys, I'm Chris G. I'm Kart Chaser's driver fitness coach, and today I'm gonna give you 3 tips on how to strengthen your shoulders for more endurance and better stability in the kart. Here we go. Okay, so exercise number 1 is the front rope pull-through cable raises. Okay, now, this is the upright cable row. What you are doing here is you're picking a straight bar, as you see, and we're working the side areas of our shoulders, the medial. Exercise number 3, the dumbbell shrugs. As you guys can tell, I like to pause at the top before releasing. It's great for your strength, for that wheel stability. It's great for those shoulders and that upper back area. Chris G coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do here. See you on the next one.
I used
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Day 2 of 3 from the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Trophy finale. Round number 3 in action today. Myself, Xander Clements, alongside Henry Beaudet, the voice of Rotax Max Challenge action all around the world. You talked with Caleb yesterday at length about your travels, Henry, and as we start today's broadcast and get into DD2 Max Qualifying, I want to, again, give the viewers who are just joining us today a little bit of a picture of what this 23-day stint you're on, completing a full lap around the globe. Welcome again here. Good morning.
Thank you very much, and hello to everyone watching on Kart Chaser. Yeah, my 2026 season started 2.5 weeks ago, leaving Wales and heading to Dubai, to the Dubai Kart Drome for a round of the UAE Rotax Max Challenge. Now, obviously, the Middle East, the season starts in September and finishes in April because they can't race in the summer. It's just too hot. In fact, the second driver on our screen now, Theo Kakati, was there racing in DD2 and winning one of the rounds. I then made a little quick hop step over to Macau for the first step on the road to Portimao. The first tickets of 2026 for the Rotax Grand Finals were given out in Macau in Asia last weekend, the International Trophy Asia. 5 tickets went to drivers from Estonia, from Russia, from Korea, from the UK and from Thailand. And then as I was watching last week's action from a somewhat sunny paddock, I hot-footed it, just a 14-hour flight across time zones to here, to the Speedsportz Park for the second stop on the road to Portimao. 6 more tickets this weekend, 120 drivers. And from here, and thanks to you guys at Kart Chaser, especially you, Xander, I go to Florida for US Formula 4 2000 Academy. Really excited to be doing that. Hope to see a lot of, karters making the next step up the motorsport ladder. And again, I appreciate the opportunity that you've given me, Xander. And then it's home. At home for a couple of days before I go to Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi for the next round of the UAE. Nothing like karting. But yeah, it's a full lap of the globe. So if I'm more dense and stupid than usual, that's why.
Well, Henry, you sound great to me. Great recap, and my goodness, what a crazy way to kick off your season. You're a Globetrotter already. Your year, each year, always is amazing to me. How you're able to wake up at the right time of day and find a way to get some kind of sleep at night when you're bouncing all around. But when we talk about making a lap around, we've got a new name on the top of the leaderboard here in DD2 Max. How about it for Lucas Pernod? Nearly 2/10 up on the field. Big time efforts here in qualifying today for the 451 PSL karting driver. He tops yesterday's winner, Billy Musgrave. Theo Kakati ends up 3rd, who we mentioned there briefly. Matt Taskinen 4th, John Lucas Savalio 5th. Alexis Baerja, the rookie sensation, 6th. Derek LaRoche, Arnaud Sabarin, Luca Posick, and then Matt and Martin Verville round out that field in qualifying. So a new face that'll lead them, a different color of red to green in the pre-finals later today. That's interesting.
I know, and of course, so this is round 3 out of 4. The drivers count their best 3 out of 4 rounds. That was the first time in the entire Winter Trophy that Billy Musgrave has not scored maximum points. His perfect Winter Trophy, 2 pole positions, 2 pre-final wins, and 2 final wins. That record's gone thanks to Lucas Pernod. The chase is on for Billy Musgrave. You cannot allow Billy to keep outscoring you here today if you want any chance of a ticket in DD2. The only ticket winner so far from Estonia, Ragnar Virus, and that is...
And with that, another ticket indeed. Micromax. 1 class in the books. We're back with more here from Rotax.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup?
All good.
Well, going to a track for the first time. Well, Kart Class has the answers for you.
Once you see the
Our
blue,
online
then
portal
it's,
has a wealth of
all
experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Macron Motorsports builds champions every day, drivers who won on the world stage. The Tillotson T4 Series is pure spec racing. Same engine, same chassis. When you win, it's because you were the best that day. Your edge is not the kart, it's the setup, the strategy, and the race team. With our Arrive and Drive program, you simply bring your gear, we provide the equipment and the championship-winning support to every event. Stop wrenching, start racing. Your path to the T4 Nations Cup in Spain starts with us. For more information, contact us at macronmotorsports.net.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental cart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
We all know that drivers, they learn faster when it's visually shown to them side by side what's the difference, right? So with the Smarty Can, every time we put on the data, we're able to see the drivers side by side on the track. So here, for example, you can see that Diego is taking a curb and our other driver's not. You see that one driver's oversteering and the other driver's pretty much straight coming out of the corner. By showing this to them, they're able to absorb faster. And you can even play the videos simultaneously so they can see how they're performing through the track.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now. Enjoy the online course today.
So from the fastest class in the Rotax Max Challenge structure to the youngest Micro Max onto the circuit yesterday in both Micro and Mini Max. We had a handful of big moments, but we're starting to see some of the new stars in the age groups for the new calendar year materialize. Although unfortunately we've got one off on the side. That is the TB Kart, the number 23 machine of Hayden Sampson, stopped on the outside at turn number 6, Henry. Hopefully he can get his Rotax Max package back fired up. But for the viewers that weren't with us yesterday, take them through a little bit of some of the notable moments and drivers from round number 2.
Well, obviously, yesterday the big story was the battle between the two British drivers, Arthur Rhodes and Freddie Baker for Richardson Chassis Engineering, and Jack Katowski. They picked up where they left off. The three of them were the class of the field. They've been the class of the championship so far. Freddie Baker emerging on top. Not without a little bit of a controversy. Jack Katowski a little bit aggrieved at what happened last weekend, but hey, he stuck to his guns. I was so impressed with how Jack handled himself on the podium presentation yesterday. He overcome the disappointment. He stood there, he smiled, he said thank you, he held his trophy up. for a young driver, that is so important to learn how to deal with disappointment and still stand there to represent your team, you know, yourself or what have you, your family. I think Jack Katowski is going to be a man on a mission today. We've got some new drivers, 17 drivers the first weekend, 21 drivers now. Hayden Sampson, one of the new drivers, Shep Sullivan, another driver, the Sullivan from Vassar Sullivan Racing. That family, Shep, is out here as well. So we got a bigger field. Realistically, though, the ticket is between Rhodes, Baker, and Katowski. Can any one of the new generation of stars break into that top three? Because they have dominated the podium on both days.
And what's been so cool to watch is the two different storylines for each of them, right? Jack Katowski last year at Newcastle gets his first career big win. He watched his brother have some big moments at podiums at this racetrack. His older brother Nico got his first career national podium here for the SCUSA Pro Tour in March. And then, of course, Jack at the Rotax US Trophy Final in Newcastle in October gets his first Rotax Micromax win. And then this year in the micro age groups, this month of January has been phenomenal for young Jack Katowski stateside. Winner at the Florida Winter Tour 2 weeks ago, winner last weekend, and of course at the opening round of the SCUSA Winter Series at this racetrack. Same tire compound, different engine package, dominant performance on the double mains there. And then today, right, and last weekend, the RCE camp debuting not just their colors and their brand here, right, but they were quick to correct me as we were loading all the stuff in the system, right? It's their own manufactured chassis as well.
Absolutely.
Which is very cool and a very other cool storyline of a debut championship for them in the U.S. Like Benny, probably we won't know when we'll see them on the North American continent because they've got a whole lot of commitments back home for the rest of the year. But snowbirds following their way to, well, semi-warmer weather here in Houston. We get to see some new faces and some new teams and notably a new chassis. And they've gone right to the top just as they have been abroad. Their first North American Championship, fighting for a ticket, fighting for the title. That's an impressive stat.
It is. You're looking at Jack Katowski now, of course. He crossed the line first on last Saturday. Penalty, you know, which denied him the win. But again, he's gritted his teeth. He's not let it get to him. You know, they learn karting can be cruel. Karting can be unfair. You know, these youngsters, they learn very quickly some of life's, you know, big lessons. You know, you can't always get what you want. The harder, you can work so hard and still only come out second best. That young man on your screen there, he's gritting his teeth, he's got his head down, he's second fastest at the moment. And you can already see the top three names on the qualifying ticker: Freddie Baker, Jack Katowski, Arthur Rhodes. Then again, as I say that, the #1 plate car, Wiley Lee for Team Bennick, moves into third position. There's the #12 car, that's Shep Sullivan. New colours, new crash helmet. Interesting, on the back of his crash helmet, he's got the symbol that Jimmy Vassar had on his crash helmet the year that he won the 1996 Champ Car title as a little homage, which is always nice to see.
Well, he's smack dab in the middle of the two RCE boys. Here we go with Freddie Baker making a move to the inside, going into the boot on the final corner of the racetrack. This lap should still be with that way that pass looked. Probably another good one for Freddie. Let's see if he goes any bit faster on the pylon. That time by, he does, 57.718. That'll improve the gap now a little bit, 2.5 tenths back to Jack. And then Max Santana, so a new fast lap for Freddie Baker. He's winding up for another one. This will be a great toe lap off the back of his teammate Arthur. He'll look to the inside at the end of the main straight, going a little bit offline, but he still had such a major run up on the straightaway. This could be an even better lap time. Talk about perfectly timing your runs in qualifying at this racetrack. Watching especially that Masters Max main, which of course they're tuned up for their qualifying session at the final group of our rotation before we go into pre-final action on the morning. But watching with Cameron Reed in the last couple laps, you and Caleb called it. What a race that was for the Masters Max fellas. 6 of them all at different points, trading positions in that main group. What a race. But here in the boot, and especially in some of the other slow sections, right, you have a lot of 180-degree corners that lead onto a section of the racetrack like the S's here that they're pretty much still full throttle up until about this point. It's a quick breathe of the throttle, maybe brush of the brake in turn 4 for the micros, but otherwise from the exit of turn 14 all the way to about turn 4 is a major run section. And then again, running off of turn 4 through turn 5, by the time you're at that second of the 2 right apexes, you're full throttle all the way down here to turn 6. And so where I say about time in the run, you have to be very careful when the car in front of you knows you're there, is maybe doing a little bit of a different braking marker or point where they're getting off throttle and point where they're picking up the throttle in the middle of the corner to try and both set you off so you can't roll right up to them and roll momentum at the same time. And that, to me, watching those last couple of laps was the difference maker. As much as everybody tried to set up Zugella for a move, in the last turn, he just managed to wait just that little bit more and hesitate, have the drivers behind unable to predict in time when he was going to pick up the throttle, and they couldn't really get to him. And now, at the last second, to get to the top, Jack Katowski's going to have an answer. Freddie Baker did not go better on his last lap, leading the way. And Jack, following the RCE pair, and along with that, Shep Sullivan will go back to the top of the leaderboard. And just like provisionally yet last Saturday was, indeed, Henry, Jack Katowski has an answer back for the RCE group. He'll put Freddie Baker on the outside of row 1 for today's pre-final. But how about privateer Grant Heckman on the number 3 Kart Republic? He'll jump to 3rd late in this session along with Dusty Strayer with a late lap.
Yeah, Dusty Strayer making his debut in the number 21 kart this weekend. Great drive from Dusty. You were talking about when to make your move. I noticed as the cameras were following the 2 RCE boys, just behind them on that last lap, Jack Katowski got a great slipstream from Shep Sullivan, and at the end of the back straight, he just pulled out past him, so he had a clean run through the second half of the lap, which is very technical. He timed it right. What's that phrase? Don't get mad, get even. That's what Jack Katowski's done. He's on pole provisionally. That breaks Freddie Baker's 2 pole position wins pole streak. We got a new pole man in micro.
So 2 classes in the books. Junior Max tuned up and ready. When we return for more action here from Houston, Slingshot Engage working out for Jack Katowski in micro.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
The 2026 Cup Kart South Series, February 20th through 22nd at Finish Line Karting, March 20th through 22nd at Daytona International Speedway, April 24th through 26th at Music City Karting, and May 29th through 31st at Bushnell Motorsports Park.
You know, I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing. Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got? Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. I just love shopping. I love shopping too. Oh my gosh.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayCara.com. At ShopPayCara.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want. Like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need. All at ShopPayCara.com.
Who is he talking to? No idea. But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal. Sure does.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking at the pre-grid area for Junior Rotax. Well, What has happened in the Winter Trophy so far in juniors? Well, to be quite honest, it's been a really topsy-turvy division. Leo da Silva winning in the rain last weekend. Yesterday's race went the way quite convincingly for the UK's Aidan Hammond, driving for the Prime Power team. Hammond leaving the rest in his wake. A new set of Envico tyres for everybody this morning as they leave the dummy grid. Full group of 31 juniors this weekend, if everyone has arrived. We had 29 on the docket yesterday, as a couple of new names joining us this weekend. Joseph Caparelli, Isaac Payne due to join us. Also, who was it? Robert Tronchi Jr. Is here. Adrian Vargas, Nicolas Castro, all making their debut in this championship this weekend. Missed last weekend, and of course they couldn't join in yesterday because we'd already done qualifying for the second round, which was due to take place last Sunday. This event is the Winter Trophy, and I have to say it's living up to its name. Blue skies, very, very crisp and cold. Wind chill factor means that beanies, bobble hats and thermal underwear generally are the order of the day. But again, bright blue skies. We are about half an hour, 30 minutes outside of the city of Houston. Speedsportz Park, Caleb Yeska christening it Houston's high-speed playground. 0.8 of a mile, 15 corners. 12 years ago, this entire plot of land was forest. Tim Crawford, the father of Williams Junior Formula 1 driver Jack Crawford, had set plans in motion, and he brought Alan Rudolph over from the Bob Bondurant Race School. Alan now runs this track. Alan designed the race circuit, and he was telling me, look, there are basically in racing there are 5 different types of corner. He doesn't count chicanes as a type of corner because he hates them. That's why there's no chicanes here at Speedsportz. But he said he looked at all the racetracks around the world, what kind of corners he liked as a driver, and of course Alan Rudolph, a celebrated driver in his own right, and he sort of put it together, 2 layers of tarmac to make the race surface. Well, it gets weathered, but it does drain quite well, and well, last week we saw that even in the most biblical of rainstorms, and some of the Prime Power Team drivers there just tripping up over each other. They've gone out together to obviously try and use the draft and the slipstream, but of course that is the problem when the driver at the back of the line misses their braking point, and that was Ava Cabral, who got a very, very strong run yesterday. The podium yesterday was Aidan Hammond, Benham Abernathy and Antoine Bassinet. Now, Antoine Bassinet has finished 3rd in both the first 2 rounds, but has been very, very under the radar. Doesn't feature generally towards the front in the until the end when it comes crunch time, and that is the type of form that means that Leo da Silva, the round 1 winner, currently leads with 500 points in the championship. Aidan Hammond 2nd, Bassinet is 3rd, 280 points available on each day. The pole sitter gets 5 championship points, then it's 75 points for the pre-final win, 200 points for the main event victory. Benham Abernathy on your screen now. The livery is the Hertz Driver Development Team. He's running under the Mike Doty Racing tent this weekend. And he's being chased by Achilles Superco. This is a great, we almost call this the Maggots Beckett's complex from Silverstone. Drivers, they flick left, right, left. Great camera work there to show from the low down camera angle, showing how hard the drivers are working. Also showing how much Envico rubber has been jettisoned from the tyres and is sitting balled up on the side of the circuit, the marbles, we call them in racing. And that means that if you make a mistake, if you miss your braking point or go in and run wide and run onto those marbles, it's very slippery, and of course with track temperature being low to start with, it means that you've got to be really commit to an overtaking move.
You've got to have some guts. I mean, it is like jumping into the deep end of a very cold pool. You know, I compare it to that kind of, you know, your stomach drops moment feeling when you have to go to pass somebody because you're braking deeper into a corner, offline on the inside than what you've been training yourself to do on a regular lap. But as you can see here, for the drivers in Junior Max, they've got well enough experience already, and at this racetrack, quite a bit of racing action for them yesterday as well to get used to it. Still doesn't make it any bit less frightening. You just get a little bit more accustomed to that feeling of sending it a bit deeper on the brakes. We're past halfway though, and as this group has shuffled a little bit of the Prime Power Team trio, Nicholas LaRusso and Enzo Di Gennaro last time by back to the top of the board. Let's see what this lap looks like for the rest of the pack as we go to the line once again. Do they jump up at all? Aiden Hammond will go. Ben Abernathy, you saw him in a moment. He's fourth in line on the track. He's just a little bit behind this group of three trying to hunt them down. If he can get there halfway down the backstretch already, he's almost within that slipstream range, so that's good. But behind him, perfect toe lap here for William Vitor. As you can see him making a move on up the leaderboard. So William Vitor now fastest, minute and 50 seconds to go. And if we want to know what it takes to run up at the front of the field and to make those kinds of passes, one driver in the thick of it all yesterday in that Senior Max final was Cameron Nelson. He's standing by with Cameron down on the grid.
Ollie.
Yeah, like you say, not the best result. Obviously in the lead, not the best team games, you could say, which I think hampered the result. But I've learned a lot from that race. I understand what people are going to do now, and I think we definitely have the speed to win it.
How is the racing differed from what you're used to back home overseas versus here in America?
I think a lot in Europe, it's a lot single file, follow the leader. But maybe Britain and here, you saw it yesterday, a lot of tooth and nail racing.
Well, there you guys have it. Cameron Nelson has a lot of takeaways from yesterday and ready to take on today.
Great question as well from Cameron, to Cameron, about the differences in racing, right? And again, like he said, I think, I remember talking with Lucas Palacios' dad, Nick, about this a lot, right? He's kind of got the opposite perspective of a Cameron Nelson or even a Macaulay Bishop now very recently coming over here to the United States. You know, Lucas grew up in just outside the Washington, D.C. area. Closest track was hours away at Trackhouse Motorplex, did a bunch of training there, set the world on fire in his micro career stateside, got picked up by the Williams Academy team for the last 2 to 3 seasons. He's been almost full-time over in Europe. We barely get to see him here. And talking about some of the differences there, for one, when you run a lot of the FIA engines in the international spec, the OKJs, OKs, the Mini 60s, where it's open manufacture, like KZ Racing we're used to seeing here, not this mono-make, more parity motor across the board, and those motors being direct drive, they don't have nearly as much power in the low rev range. So he's like, yeah, over there, you block a little bit and very easily you can kind of build a gap, but very rarely do you kind of rubber band back together. Also, a lot of those tracks are built for some of those faster motors. Over here, Freaks 206 action rules the land, right? That's the most popular engine package. The Rotax Max package here is growing once again. And again, a healthy field of juniors, which, as we see the checkers on the screen, William Vitor remains on top over Benham Abernathy by a close bit, but the close in lap times and equally having tracks that, you know, still are kind of an ode to old school karting that are a bit tight and twisty, and then still, like Speedsportz here, have some big straightaways, make it where you're, I don't know, like he said, it seems to me that we end up having a lot more packed up racing and a lot more width to be able to navigate your way around someone and not just end up having to follow the leader.
You know, you look at, I mean, some of the tracks, like say Zuera in Spain, it's a country mile away from the ethos behind the design of the track. You know, you in the United States, you build it for your audience. There's no, you know, the biggest event in the United States, everyone talks about, you know, Supernats, but it's actually the CKNA Grand Finals at Newcastle, but they use a shorter version of Newcastle, and there's 600 four-stroke karts, the 206 karts. You know, that's the real grassroots level. But of course, they have a lot more grunt down low, a lot less high speed, you know, top speed. But yeah, it's tight, it's twisty. Then you bring a Rotax pack. You see it in Scusa as well, with the Army engine, the Swift engine and what have you. Then suddenly you've got engines that are sort of primarily built in Europe for European style tracks. You bring them to, I mean, this is only 12 years old, a Speedsport park, but the design, it's a long way away from Azuera. It's got the mixture. And you suddenly find yourself, impacts, the drivers defending. I mean, the senior final yesterday, it wasn't a complete defensive, you know, from the word go, but there was a pack. You know, halfway through the race, drivers, they start backing each other up, and you do end up with these large packs.
And I think, too, the other part is our country is so spread that where, you know, in the UK, right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that was so wild to me at Kart Masters, you know, the marquee one-off event, but in general, every venue is drivable for every single team. So
within
all
6
these
hours.
tracks are having race karts on it day and night, day and night. Yes, Speedsportz Racing Park. This is an owner-only layout, and then they have a separate rental track on property. That's relatively rare in the States, but even still, the owner-only track outside of this winter stretch of the year is not going to see nearly as much action. So with that, the rubber buildup really doesn't materialize here. When you have a lot of grip on a racetrack, the line starts to narrow. You can't cross over that rubber and grip line.
Yeah.
Here, we have a lot more tracks where the grip level is inherently lower. You have to arc the corners a lot more. You pay the price a lot more for defending, and we've seen how many times guys get crossed up. They go low to defend, wash out in the center of the corner. That doesn't happen as much, I think, with a lot of your standard European tracks, or especially even just drawing a comparison to the UK, because those tracks have that higher build-up baseline of grip in the center of the corner. The natural racing line is tighter. The overall grip on that narrower line you'd run when defending makes it that much easier to do. But here, I think everyone, if they haven't been here yet, has been learning this week, even talking with Matt Taskinen's father a little bit on setup day. He's like, dude, 3 race weekends already, testing in between. A test week, yes, there was quite a bit of rain, even obviously a snowstorm chance, and we had, I think, a touch of hail overnight after we closed the action at round 1.
Yeah.
And he's like, still, yes, that might have rinsed a little bit of grip off, but we are slipping and sliding, and there is just no grip on this surface. You look, you watch it, you could, you know, just run your hand across the asphalt or skid your foot across it. It won't stick on anything. So I think that also lends a hand to mitigating some of the lack of passing that you have, because the defensive line is that much trickier to pull off, and the fastest line is a very, very wide arc.
Yeah, and so the thing is, though, in Europe, when you do a track walk in Europe, you come off the circuit and you're wearing trainers, and the build-up of rubber that your trainers that have picked up on the track walk is always remarkable. I walked the track this morning, nothing.
Nope.
Nothing at all. Temperature is a factor in it, but again, there's less laps. I mean, and there's been tens of thousands of laps this week, but then, you know, next week, you know, there might be none. I know there's going to be an event.
I live, you know, I'm a local to Speedsportz Racing Park, if you will, right? I'm 4 hours away in the DFW area. There is such a widespread. Diego Ramos, right? He's been here a lot of times. He resides in Orlando, Florida when he's living stateside. Yeah. That's a plane ticket, right? The idea of just flying event to event is foreign to everyone that's foreign to the United States. So because of that, you just don't have that week-to-week karts on track activity like you do at a lot of other circuits in Europe, because the population's more condensed. There's more, you know, and in general, I mean, you don't have dirt karting over there. You don't have Legends cars. Well, you do have them run them on road courses, right? The amount of oval racing and the number of different disciplines, you know, you just have for the road course sprint karters, it's much more spread out, and each track doesn't get nearly as much love, if you will, as they do in the rest of the world. In the last 12 to 8, I mean, there's perfect. There's the number 396, Alexei Bayerjon, getting all crossed up. I mean, okay, trying to get grip into the tyres. Now, you'll see the drivers, they've got new Envicos on. You're trying to sort of, gouge some grip into those tyres. But, yeah, even Bayerjon, he's got his team car and the race suit on. He's been to 5 consecutive Grand Finals. You know, he's no mug. And the struggle to get the grip in, you know, Derek Wargo going past on that comp kart chassis. He's backing it in very, very gently,
Baerjean just trying to use the front. Now, up at the front, you know, this is the first flying lap of the session, so it's Isaac Malkout. But again, he's not at full track. Look at the understeer he's got. The tyres usually take 2 laps, they're up to temperature, and we're good to go. Not here. I have to say, I look at karting all around the world. I love American oval dirt karting. I would love to have a go. As an oval racing fan, racing karts on dirt in one of the ovals, it's fantastic. But that's an entirely foreign discipline in every way to Europe. You don't get that in Europe at all. And you've got you've got the super speedway kart, the laydown karts, then you've got the dirt karts, the oval karts, you know, Daytona Speedweeks. You've got the cars running up, plus then, you know, oval short track racing. In Europe, we do more endurance karting with you know, the Honda engine package, 2 twin Honda engines. Endurance racing, certainly in the UK, is huge, which is something that the US doesn't really have. But you know, it's
yeah, definitely. I mean, even in general, right? The rental karting number, you know, the population of rental karters that are legitimately serious, right, in league racing in Europe. I was blown away by. Went over to a 24-hour endurance event a couple of years ago in Italy, and the caliber of drivers and teams that were there that do that full time is,
and they take it so seriously.
Absolutely, it's nothing like what we have here. Much more casual, and again, just because you have all of the driver talent spread far across the country, in line with the population spread. Now, we saw just 5 names on the pylon while we were kind of bringing you up to speed and yapping a bit here. There are now all of them because they waited.
The floodgates have opened.
Yeah, they waited a good bit here in this session. Now, last week, the money lap was around lap 5 or 6. So that's putting a little bit of pressure on yourself by surrendering the first half of a qualifying session like these drivers have, to not only get situated, hopefully end up in a not too crowded piece of the racetrack like what we're seeing right here. Oliver Hodgson, yesterday's winner, in the mix of it. Diego Ramos, first across the line yesterday, ended up 3rd after a pushback bumper penalty, also in heavy traffic. That's not ideal, not where you want to be to start your qualifying session when you're trying to put a lap in, but you know, equally, we talked about the slipstream effect. The benefit of that's been the difference for the previous 2 pole awards, junior and micro, so it's the risk you take.
But significantly, you know, in an 8-minute qualifying session where it's not the best 3-lap average, it's your single best lap time, we talk about in Europe in the height of summer, all these drivers, they would have waited until 3 minutes to go.
That would have been early too. They would have given 1 out lap, 1 push lap, and the push lap would have been started with 5 seconds left on the timer.
Yeah. The fact that they've all gone out with 4.5 minutes to go tells you, yes, it takes longer to get the tyres up to temperature, to get any sort of grip in the kart itself. You know, you set the kart up to various different ways of grip. The fact they've all gone out so early tells you that their grip is at a premium, or lack thereof. And you could still see a lot of drivers understeering, having to take several. I mean, look at Hodgson, the back of the kart in there, you know, looks like he takes 2 or 3 goes of the steering just to get the kart situated where he wants it to be. That's why we've still got 3 laps to go. He's not pressing the panic button. The races today, the finals are even longer than yesterday, which is really, you know, I was impressed with the long racing yesterday. I think the drivers enjoyed it. It certainly, there was still plenty of incident and, you know, but there was no one really pressed the panic button too much. There was lots of times where a driver lost 4 or 5 places, took 5 or 6 laps to take stock and then started moving back up, rather than, gotta go, and, you know, diving back in hot-headed and what have you.
Now, first change on the pylon. Isaac Malkout's been quickest out of the gate. William Bottillier has now laid in a pretty good lap. He was one of the many that waited a bit to go. But if you watch there at the beginning of this lap, coming to it, Diego Ramos had his hand in the air for a split second going to turn 14, entering the boot. He wanted to drag the brake and back off a little bit further to follow Oliver Hodgson. In the last few laps, Diego had been missing that inner curbing runoff area at turns 8 and 9. This lap, he's hit it. He's rolling up to Hodgson relatively well. We know obviously Oliver's got speed. Diego was the fastest in yesterday's final, but a bit of a false positive because he had the DNF in the pre-finals. They had a little tire advantage. equal rubber now potentially for round 4, or truthfully, for round 3. You start your first of the 2 sets now for that double rounder as originally scheduled. And that lap for Diego, well, it would have been the best had it not been bested by Aiden Ingrata, just a little bit further back on this lineup. The REM Cosmic driver, fastest now at a 52.45. Hodgson by himself, although closing up a bit to that CRG for MSL Racing, a Joey Friend. It's gone to 4th. Victor De Alencar's gone to 3rd. Botillier pushed down the board to 5th. And Oliver, I think, is going to catch Joey just a tick too early. He's going to get right to him here in the buckle. He'll probably, if Joey got a good exit, I don't know if Ollie's going to try a move here in the boot to finish the lap off. Let's see what he wants to do. Yeah, he's going to go for it.
Yeah, he's got 45 seconds.
He's going to burn this lap and go for the last one. And this will be probably the last good lap for Ramos if he can't get by Joey right here into 1. He won't. He'll be trapped behind him. So Ramos will go a little better. Not enough for Ingrata.
But that lap for Hodgson was still his personal best lap. This is now a great sort of slip, sort of little focusing on why the top drivers are the top drivers. Hodgson, he has enough confidence in himself. Okay, that lap was my best lap. I'll make the move. I've got no one to slipstream with, but I'm backing myself with clean track in front of me. 1 lap to go to improve on what is 4th fastest time. There's Aiden Ingrata. The man that everyone has to beat. His teammate William Boutilier yesterday won a completely brand new Rotax engine in the engine room. He was very lucky because he was in the bathroom at the time. But he has got the engine. Ingrata has the pole. What does Hodgson do?
He got passed by Ramos on the last turn. Diego's going to hurt Ollie's last lap, so he won't have an answer. Botillier towing off the back of Ingrata, leapfrog back up into the top 5. Do we have any other movers on this final run to the checkers? Here comes Isaac Malka, quick early in the session. His tire's going to be roasted, though, having been out there the whole time. No change there. Here's Wargo to the line, nothing for him. And as the final few cross, you can set it just about in stone. Aiden Ingrata, top of the board. Macaulay Bishop with a late lap, though, on the FAF karting. Gillard, he'll go to 2nd and bump Ramos back to 3rd. We missed that there as he was all by himself in a totally separate part of the racetrack. Good lap for Macaulay. Botillier, Hodgson, your top 5. Joaquin Galero, Pizarro, 6th. De Alencar, Cameron Nelson, Ryan Maxwell, Ryan Gandor, your top 10. And then look how close again for about 5th or so through to 16th. 2 to 3 tenths. Malka just outside the top 10. 4 tenths off the top time. 3 tenths off a 2nd. 2 tenths off what probably would have been anywhere inside that top 10. All the way down to the end of the leaderboard. 22 within a 2nd. 27 in the books. Again, just like in Micromax, a couple of the new contenders for the 2nd weekend. We didn't get to see them in action yesterday because they had the qualifying already completed, so it froze the fields. But Aiden Ingrata, by 700ths, will lead us to green for round number 3.
Aiden, maybe not the result that you wanted yesterday with P12, but clearly able to take away from that to go pole here today. Kind of talk me through. Obviously, you guys waited on grid a long time. Kind of talk me through those last couple of laps.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. We were waiting in pits for a while. I went behind my teammate, Will, and got a good lap behind him. So we know we had the package. I mean, we've been the fastest all week. It's just about applying it into the races.
Well, what happened yesterday that forced you to fall so far back, and ultimately you were able to learn from that for today?
Yeah, I mean, just bad racing decisions, made too many mistakes. I mean, we finished P5 on track, but with that penalty, obviously it put us to P12, so that will be my drop. So just going out here, starting pole, off to a good start. Hopefully a lot calmer, hopefully, the races today. But yeah, just the racing decisions for my part weren't ideal yesterday.
Well, Aiden Ingrata able to set his sights on for today. Congratulations, provisional pole.
Thank you.
So Aiden Ingrata, top honors in qualifying. Senior Max wrapping up now here, folks. The Rotax Max Challenge Winter Trophy rolls on, and you'll see these boys and girls back in action for pre-finals and main events later today. 2 more divisions still to qualify. It might be as chaotic as what we just witnessed. It might be a little calmer. Mini Max up next.
Cat food marketing.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Paulie Massimino wins the Wisconsin Grand Prix. James Overbeck on start number 2 gets win number 1 in OKN Stars.
On track or off, Brandon Jarskrek Racing delivers elite performance. Led by 4-time Pro National Champion Brandon Jarskrek, our team masters driver coaching, data-driven analysis, and mechanical precision at every national event. Contact us today at BrandonJarskrekRacing.com.
One thing.
We are back on track, the penultimate qualifying session of the day here at Speedsportz Park in Houston, Texas. And it's Mini-Max, an event yesterday, won for the second time in succession by James Roots. Roots driving for the Prime Power team. He has leapt out to a huge points lead, but he is not without his rivals. Yusuf Adi, who led most of the final yesterday, is now P2 in points. Mason Brody is third, but Roots undefeated so far in the Winter Tour. There on your screen, the number 196, Oliver Opry. Oliver Opry, second attempt at trying to get a ticket for the Grand Finals. He's got his Team Canada race suit on for the Premier Karting team. Martin LaPlante in his team there with Mark Baines helping out this weekend. Oliver Opry, 6th position yesterday. So a lot more pace in the dry than he had in the rain, and that P6 will give Oliver a huge boost of confidence. I met Oliver and his family in Bahrain. I have to say, I know Oliver's mum is here. Hello to Oliver's dad back home, and hello to Oliver's nan, who was in Bahrain, who just, you know, had a wonderful time just soaking up the atmosphere of watching a grandson race for his country, but just soaking up the atmosphere of being in Bahrain as a nation. Ailey Litorno, the only all-female combo here this year at the Rotax Winter Trophy. There is young Ailey from Montreal. Maud Grenier, to apologize, is Ailey's mechanic, so the only all-female driver mechanic combo here. There are several female mechanics. Always good to see more ladies behind the scenes, on the spanners, on the tools, working, engineering these karts, which is good to see. But Kimo Ahmad leads on his Benick chassis at the moment from Hudson Howard, and double winner James Roots, with still plenty of time to go.
Indeed, halfway, not even hit just yet. Now Hudson Howard starting to go a little better, and then that's really probably the first lap at speed. Kimo Ahmad, 6/10 over Hudson. Here comes the rest of the pack starting to put some first true laps in the books. James Roots back up close to the top, but Kimo Ahmad last week in the rain had a valiant effort, mirrored really by yesterday's winner, James Roots' incredible feat to drive through the pack. I think what was most incredible to watch of the whole thing was the last bit, right? James Roots, when he was carving up through the middle of the field, it's a little bit easier. You kind of leapfrog from one kart to another. Catch the slipstream of one, pass him, you're almost in the slipstream of the next one. But that last bit, he willed himself to the front to reel in Yusuf Adi, Henry, from 2 seconds away, by himself, no help, drove up to the lead, got the lead. I mean, it was incredible.
And it wasn't as though Yusuf Adi beat himself, because Yusuf Adi was putting in personal best laps himself. It wasn't, I speculated incorrectly that Yusuf was going to start getting nervous, he was going to start making mistakes, he was looking over his shoulder too much, but then, he was pumping in personal best lap after personal best lap. Roots just had everybody in hand. There he goes again, 55.463 seconds. Really good to see. It's going to be obviously Yusuf Adi, painful lesson. He drove, he got everything he possibly could out of the equipment he had yesterday, and it was only good enough for second. Now, I am sure that the Jay Howard Drive Development team, working hard, they will have fixed, they would have maximized things, they would have gone back to work, burnt the midnight oil to make sure that their equipment is now going to be even quicker today than it was yesterday. Roots the number 132 kart. Here's the number 115 on your screens. That's Lincoln Lima. Now, Lincoln is doing both micro and mini. He's, there are 3 drivers doing 2 classes. Arnaud Saboin, Alexis Baerjon, and Lincoln Lima. But doing micro and mini is not generally something that you see. But he's within age range of both classes, and he's just the right height and weight to not be overweight in micro, and to not be too small for mini. So he decided to do both. There's Kimo Ahmad just getting a wheel off the circuit, coming through the buckle. Now that's excuse me, turn 10, 11, and 12. That's known as the buckle, is that right?
Correct.
And then the last complex, turns 30, 40, 50, we call that the boot.
Correct.
Okay, we're making sure boots, buckles, and braces, I don't get them mixed up. Terrible if you do. Here we go. Roots fastest again, 55.0.46 seconds. Hudson Howard second, Mason Brody in third. Mason Brody working with Frankie Mossman this weekend. Lincoln Lima, Yusuf Adi, Kimo Ahmad, Dutch Westbrook, Mateo Pai, Mace Lasek, 10th position. One of the number of drivers here from the Texas Karting League. One of Rotax's 4 regional championships. They've got one up at New Jersey, they've got one in the Ohio region, the Colorado region, the Texas Karting League. And Mace, there's about 8 or 9 drivers here that compete in the Texas Karting League, and they're now stepping up. This is their first international event. It's the first time they've competed at an event where there's a grand finals ticket, but it's the first time they've moved up from Rotax's sort of national, regional level championship to a full international race, which is good to see, and it bodes well for the other 3 sort of domestic and sort of regional series. The talent production factory. It's good. It's good. Give the drivers an opportunity. Grow your talent at your local circuit where you're not, even in Texas, you're 4 hours from track, but you're not having to get a 4-hour flight to go to your next race. You can drive it. You can, it is your local, regional, it's cost effective. And then learn your craft there and move up, when you're ready. Not because you simply have to. As we look at Roots and Brody. Howard and Ahmad, checkered flag is out. In Minimax, 0.2 of a second is a lifetime. And that is what, in fact, it's nearly 0.3 of a second between Roots and everybody else. Lincoln Lima is in 5th position. Roots again, leads the field. It's well, not a perfect score because he had a problem in the pre-final, but he's won both finals so far. That's 3 pole positions provisionally in a row for James Roots.
There you go. Great way to continue the momentum. He might be able to clinch that ticket if he can put together another phenomenal day today. He's still got 2 more sessions to get there. That's the one good part about the Winter Trophy for both those that maybe didn't have the best of times in the wet conditions last weekend, and for those that did but are still wanting to have a little bit of cushion room this weekend, is it's best 3 out of 4. So with round 3 on tap today, we could see some of those tickets gets mathematically locked up for the day's all over. But 5 groups now completed for the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Trophy Round 3. 1 remains. Masters Max, what a race they had to close out the day yesterday. They're grinning up now, and they'll be ready to go. We return here on Kart Chaser.
One thing that is really nice about the Micron 6 is with this new IMU platform, now they put an embedded channel with the steering wheel angle. This channel is really nice to use if you're trying to understand how the drivers are behaving through the corners, if it's oversteering, understeering. But you need to be careful. Because we're measuring this at 100 times per second, when you look on the data, it's very, very noisy. So when you look on the data, we have here the steering wheel angle raw output in blue, and then we have to apply a filter to treat this data, and then that's the filter in red.
If you want to learn more about data analysis, you can sign up on our website right now and join the online course today.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself, quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney, Turney in the dirt.
2026 Cup Kart South Series, February 20th through 22nd at Finish Line Karting, March 20th through 22nd at Daytona International Speedway, April 24th through 26th at Music City Karting, and May 29th through 31st at Bushnell Motorsports Park.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Masters Max drivers, engines fired in our final qualifying session for round number 3. The Rotax Max Challenge Winter Trophy is green. No waiting on the grid. these fellas are ready to get after it and start building some heat in the tires and warm things up. Now, we touched on how crazy yesterday's main event was. A number of protagonists involved in the battle. Noel Dowler, first one out on the racetrack. He was one of many kind of sniffing around that lead pack, Henry. And oh, there's another combatant from it already having a spin. Mundi Lawyer, man, it looked like he almost had it yesterday. He was oh so close. Got into it there at the very end with Billy Cleveland, but he was knocking on the door of Mario Zugella.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, the Masters, and with the greatest of respect, when Rubens Barrichello decided not to enter this year, the rest of the Masters field sort of breathed a bit of a sigh of relief. And then they rubbed their hands together. It's like, okay, we don't have to deal with an 11-time Formula One Grand Prix race winner. We've just got to deal with kart racers. You know, when one door closes, another one opens. Billy Cleveland. Now, I did yesterday, that actually, Xander, that's not a go-kart. That's a set of golf clubs that he's driving because he retired to take up golf. And he said, look at my golf clubs. I'm very... Billy, a racer through and through, and just signaling there, just decide, as much as I want to retire, as much as maybe my body says, Billy, you've been doing this a long time, he cannot put this sport down. And do you know what? Yesterday, he was driving the wheels off that thing, contending for a victory on every single race, and wheel to wheel with Gabi Zugella, who in Bahrain just a few months ago, 2 months ago at the 2025 Grand Finals, finished on the podium in DD2 Masters. That is the ticket that is available. Even though we're only in Senior Max Masters, single speed karts, the ticket is for DD2 Masters. 36 of them are available worldwide. One of them was taken in Macau. The second one will be claimed here. Will it go to Noel Dowler from Canada, Billy Cleveland from the USA, Henry Taleb from Ecuador, Gabi Zugella from Argentina, Christopher Mann from the USA, who was the USA's representative, one of 2 USA representatives last year in Bahrain. Or will it be someone new? Will it be Dominic Legrand, possibly? La Maison du Rotti, the collective of drivers that roll up, Sylvain Chenard, the Legrands. You know, wouldn't it be fantastic if one of them got a ticket? Because they're the backbone of this type of event. They're here to have fun in their 40s and 50s, father-son duo racing together. Sometimes the Masters drivers get, put to the side a little bit. Yeah, they're last on the docket. It's going to be the last race of the week. It's the main event almost. And you've got to pay tribute because these are the guys and girls, they don't have to go racing. They got families, they got businesses, they've got work. If they get injured go-karting, then they can't go to work on Monday. It's their livelihood. So they the ones
which makes yesterday's race even all the more crazy that they were going at it as much as they were. But like you said,
they don't have to be here. They're here for the pure love of it, and we should. I'm really grateful that we've got a Masters division because they're characters as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, quite a bit of personality.
Yeah.
Not short on it in this class whatsoever. And on top of that, that's why all 6 of them still made it to the checkered flag yesterday, right? They're still as aggressive as they are, as much as they want to race for the win. They know they've got to make it back home on Monday or Sunday night. So there's a little bit of control behind, a tick of restraint.
Self-preservation.
Self-preservation. They got the fully developed frontal lobe, right? You can't say that about any other grid. Realizing that they do have mortality to them. Now,
sorry, but you're right. Their wives are less convinced they have a fully developed frontal lobe.
Yeah,
what are you still doing, you child racing around?
No doubt, no doubt. Now, Noel Dowler, while we've been teasing a little bit of the other divisions, Masters equally, has simply opened up the throttle.
Yep.
Last time by, he opened it up to nearly 2.5 tenths. He's tracking pretty good. His hands look pretty good this lap. Let's see if he can go even better. He's coming up on, again, that kind of peak window from what we've noticed over the last couple of rounds around lap 5. Is this lap going to be another improvement? It will not be. First time he slows down, 53.93. That's kind of on par, though, with what I saw from him Friday of opening weekend at the Winter Trophy, Henry, where he was exceptionally quick in the opening couple of laps. The late run speed hadn't been as strong comparatively. And here we are, middle of the run in qualifying, And while he's been at the top early, very good on low air and cold tires, Billy Cleveland has gone back to the top of the board. It was dry in the first 2 qualifying sessions. That's why he started up front yesterday and started up front at round 1. He had a spin in the rain out of the lead in the wet, wild pre-final that was round 1 last Saturday in cold and rainy conditions. But back with the sunshine, and he was obviously up front and fast yesterday. He is now the fastest, and his teammate Christopher Mann, who split the 2 opening qualifying sessions with him, has joined him up at second. Let's see what this lap looks like for Billy.
Yep, he comes out of turn 14 through 15. Christopher Mann is second. Henry Taleb, who's following Cleveland, moves into P2. That was a 53.7 dead. Another new fastest lap for Billy Cleveland. One name we haven't really mentioned, Gabi Zugella, who has won both main events, the first 2 main events. Gabi is only P7 at the moment. And that is something that he will have to work on for certain.
And his times have been all over the place, too. The last lap before was a full second slower than his previous best. The HRT Motorsport crew for Gabi Zugella, his initial win over Henry Taleb was looking to be like a 1-2, and then Taleb had a problem late in the session at round 1. And then, of course, yesterday for Zugella, winning at round number 2, Taleb again knocking on the door. But the HRT crew, they've shown the brightness in both of their drivers in Masters Max. They have not gotten that banner result with both of them on top. And now, an inverse of yesterday, Henry Taleb fighting for pole, and Zugella, the last time by, still couldn't seem to find any pace. He's nearly 2 seconds off, Henry. I have to think there's something amiss. It's not like he would forget all that he was able to put together to go to the front yesterday.
Mundi Lawyer now moves to the top of the chart. Oh, Billy Cleveland signaling to say, I'm coming in. Henry Taleb goes through the Ecuadorian driver. Talk about Noel Dowler. Well, and this is some of the problems that the Masters have that nobody else does. For testing on Thursday, Noel Dowler wasn't here. Why? Because he's in work. He didn't land back, here in Houston until midnight, Thursday night, Friday morning, and he goes racing then Friday. So again, these drivers, they do have other commitments. Looking at Simon Pro Tour in the number 513 Kart, and he's got Zugella behind him. So this is why 10 seconds to go, Zugella has found himself not in great track position. He makes the move. That's going to cost him time. And you know what? Gabi Zugella is not going to make it across line. That lap was his best lap so far. Only good enough for P5, however. It looks like Peru's Mundi Lawyer for Evolution Racing. New team on the block. It's a side project for Emerson, who was a part of the Nash Motorsports family. It's the side project Evolution Racing. Very smart looking kart. Alex Speed is over there, just helping to run Achilles Superco, give a bit of moral support under that banner. And Mundi Lawyer, who takes his second consecutive pole position in this class by 500ths over Christopher Mann, crossing the line, the last driver to take the checkered flag. Vancouver, Washington's Christopher Mann goes P2 as qualifying ends.
Well, there's a change-up at the 11th hour. Buzzer beater lap for Christopher Mann gets him on the front row. Once again, 3 consecutive qualifying sessions with him, no worse than P2. Cleveland, Taleb, Zugella. But how about it for Mundi? Mundi Lawyer, top honors in round 3 qualifying.
We'll give Mundi a second to take his helmet off. How was that? Pole position here on Saturday. P3 yesterday, really great result, but obviously able to pick up a little bit more here today and go P1 to start off the day.
Especially we changed the engine. We're Talon's engine now, pretty good engine, awesome. And I was kind of lucky, pick a draft after Gabi, and I think that made it.
Well, fantastic lap there. Was there anything that you changed from yesterday other than the motor with your driving or with the kart to get you to this P1, or just the motor?
Just the motor.
Well, there you guys have it. Motor change for Monday Lawyer, able to go P1.
Motorsports.
Yes, sir.
Monday Lawyer, fastest in qualifying. We'll be back.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
He's gonna make weight. Okay, you're good.
I'm sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle.
How the f did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
Hey guys, I'm Chris G. I'm Kart Chaser's driver fitness coach, and today I'm gonna give you 3 tips on how to strengthen your shoulders for more endurance and better stability in the kart. Here we go. Okay, so exercise number 1 is the front rope pull-through cable raises. Okay, now, this is the upright cable row. What you are doing here is you're picking a straight bar, as you see, and we're working the side areas of our shoulders, the medial. Exercise number 3, the dumbbell shrugs. As you guys can tell, I like to pause at the top before releasing. It's great for your strength, for that wheel stability. It's great for those shoulders and that upper back area. Chris G coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do here. See you on the next one.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Macron Motorsports builds champions every day, drivers who won on the world stage. The Tillotson T4 Series is pure spec racing. Same engine, same chassis. When you win, it's because you were the best that day. Your edge is not the kart, it's the setup, the strategy, and the race team. With our Arrive and Drive program, you simply bring your gear, we provide the equipment and the championship-winning support to every event. Stop wrenching, start racing. Your path to the T4 Nations Cup in Spain starts with us. For more information, contact us at macronmotorsports.net.